What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. 14.2 is now live. I went live, I think, like 2 a.m. my time on the eastern side of the United States, and yeah, of course, I was not going to be awake for that, but we're here now, and we're going to go ahead and explore this update a little bit, show everything off so you know exactly what to expect, and what new things you can go ahead and take part in that are going to be interesting with this brand new update. Now, there are some things that we don't get access to immediately in regards to the Pirate King Adventure stuff, where they've added, like, above level 150. PKA is currently over, so we can't actually test any of that, unfortunately, but when the next season starts getting to 150, it will be interesting to see how that plays out, because we don't really know how it's going to work in regards to, like, is level 150 going to have new gimmicks. I really hope that after level 150 it doesn't become that way. I would expect the HP just to increase. That's what I hope happens. I really hope they don't add any new gimmicks, because it's already difficult as it is to deal with gimmicks and then do like 2 billion damage, and then if they add that on top of it, it's going to be brutal. And then we're going to see how the new reward system is going to be. Because once you get past level 150 in PKA, they're going to make it so you can't get berries or cola drops anymore. So is that going to really affect how good the other drops are going to be? Specifically for Elder Turtles and Princess Hime Turtles. We'll see. But let's go ahead and break down everything here. So first of which, let's talk about the Rumble stuff, because I think that's probably the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things in this brand new update, is the introduction to the whole Rumble stuff. Now, unfortunately, I can't really show you the stuff in regards to the new defense system. So they've actually added some new stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on with my game. It is taking so long to load. It usually doesn't do this, but in the brand new update with Pirate Rumble, they've added a new aesthetic into how they convey the information to you in regards to your defense. So normally what would happen is when you get a defense in Pirate Rumble, it would just say, hey, you got this amount of defense. That's basically it. But now what it does is it will actually go ahead and show you your defense success rate in Pirate Rumble. So that's really dope. So unfortunately, I can't show it here because I hadn't got a defense, but we can actually go over to here real quick, and you can see this is a screenshot that someone posted in the One Piece Treasure Cruise subreddit Discord. So they had 56 attempts at defending with a success rate of 17%. So they got 2 times successfully defended. Again, that maths, I don't think, does that maths actually add up? I don't think it does. But either way, they got 8 Rumble tickets. I mean, either way, it's cool that they're doing this, because this really should have been in from day one to show how good your team is at defending. Like, if you had a defense success rate of like over 80%, I would consider that a very good defense team. Even above 50%, I would consider that a very good defense team. And you can kind of shift your team around. If you get really bad defense rate, you might want to buff the team up a little bit more. But it's walking that fine line of, you want the team to be very good at getting defense, but you also want, you don't want it to be too good where people don't challenge it. It's a little bit of a finicky fine line, you know what I mean? So another thing that we have to talk about is the introduction of a brand new function into Pirate Rumble mechanics, and that is the introduction of a super special. Let me just randomly grab a character just so I can replace it with the new Monkey D. Luffy. So Monkey D. Luffy, who is a character that everyone will have access to, he is the only character in the game right now with this ability. So we can actually go over to here, and you can see all of his abilities. I actually haven't got him completely maxed out, so I won't show it here, but I'll probably have a clip in the video here to show you guys exactly what the Rumble Special actually does. So you can see that right next to the Rumble Special, there's a brand new icon. That is the signification of the Super Special, the Rumble Super Special. So this is his current ability. So it targets enemies in a medium range for 2500 fixed damage. When you're below 50%, he gives himself attack and speed increase for 20 seconds. Nothing that great. It's fine. It's perfectly respectable. However, there is a Super Rumble Special. Now, there are different effects, because when you get the ability to max, I mean, we can just go over to the actual news post, because it has all the information for us, which is probably a lot better than what we're doing right here. It actually will show both forms of the unit, because what happens is if you get the character to Rumble level 10, which is very easy to do, you just use the Rumble scrolls and you get him done. But what happens is if you get the character to level limit break 5, the character does get a buffed version of the special. So this is it. This is the base form of the special. After this character receives enemy's Rumble special 2 times. His special is then buffed, where the damage is the same, but the self effect will go ahead and give him level 6 attack and speed for 40 seconds, and there's no health requirement for it either. So they've removed the health requirement for this effect to activate. But as I said, when you get into level limit break 5, this Rumble special does change. So you can see here that the condition is the same, the requirement is the same, but the effect does a little bit more damage of 2750 damage, and then it's level 7 attack and level 7 speed, also for 40 seconds, with no health requirement added. So this is interesting. There's only one character in the game with this ability, and it is this Luffy. We'll have to wait and see how this gets implemented to other characters in the future. They're probably going to roll it out over time. And the way that it actually kind of works is your team can only launch 3 Super Rumble specials throughout the entire match. So it's not going to be super broken. And the way that it works is the character launches the Super Rumble special in replace of their current special once the activation requirement is activated. So whenever Luffy's ready to go, he's going to launch this base special. However, once the activation requirement is met, when he launches his Rumble special, it's going to be this effect instead. So it's nothing that you can really interact with. It's just based on what happens throughout the game. And if you have like a whole team of different Super Rumble specials, sometimes characters will be able to launch, sometimes characters won't. It's all based on the effects of what the enemies do to you, or the activation requirement might be different. It might be this character has to attack a certain amount of times, and then they'll get the Super Rumble special. Again, we'll have to wait and see how it actually works out. But at the moment, at a base level, I like the idea. We'll have to see how the execution goes with other characters in the future. Now, another mechanic that we're going to have to look at is in Grand Party, they've actually added a new auto feature. Now, the current way that you build teams in Grand Party is actually very frustrating. Unlike in normal Pirate Rumble, once you build a team, there's a button that you can click that allows you to like drag characters around to put them in the order that you like. Unfortunately, that is still not a function in Grand Party team building. So once you build a team, you actually have to put them in order of how you want. If you screw up the order, you got to go back and like change your whole team. It's really frustrating. The order feature in Grand Party is also really terrible too, but what they've done here is they have changed it. So if we go ahead and click the order button right here, use auto edit, yes. Now what it will do here is it wants you to select a Grand Party leader. And what it will do is it will take the Grand Party's leader skill, the Grand Party leader's leader skill, and then apply that to the 3 teams that it will be auto-generated for you. So hypothetically, we can go ahead and click the 10th anniversary Luffy. If we have a look at what his Grand Party leader skill is, it's going to give buffs to Sign Int, as well as giving buffs to Powerhouse, Fighter, Cerebral characters. So we can assume that it's going to be building characters based on that requirement. So let's go ahead and click the Luffy, and let's see what it actually makes for us. And it should set him as the leader. It does set him as the leader. The whole top team are going to be Int. The secondary team are going to be Psy. The final team are focused on Powerhouse. Now look, it's definitely not the best team out there, but this is a really good way for beginners to jump into Grand Party without being super overwhelmed. Of course, it's not perfect. It's far from perfect, but it's something, right? And remember, with the whole strat that people do after you do your Grand Party matches, you can set an auto team to make it easier for other people to go ahead and beat. If you are going to do that, make sure to go ahead and click someone that doesn't have a really good leader skill, otherwise things are going to get a little bit wonky. Or you can build a team like this and then just click edit leader and then put it on something like, you know, Dorian Broggy, and then he doesn't have a leader skill. This would also suffice for a decent auto team, because the characters that they select usually aren't like top tier units. Yes, there are good units in here, but the team doesn't have amazing synergy and will typically be easier to beat than fully functional teams that people build on their own. Okay, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and have a look at a brand new feature bringing it into the game. If we go over to the premium Chopperman mission requests, we have these right here. Now, the way that this actually works is it is focused on how many Chopperman missions you beat within a set time period. So you can see that currently it has 28 days left until this all resets. So you can see the first one here, the bronze one, just complete 50 requests from Chopperman. Now, the next one, 100 missions, and then 200 missions. So if you actually go over to the daily missions, every time you beat a daily mission, this will count towards it. So if we have a look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 daily requests from Chopperman, and you have 28 days. So let's just pull up the calculator real quick. We have 28 days times 9. That's a total of 252. So if you do your daily missions every single day, you will get a total of an additional 20 rainbow gems per month. Now look, it's not game breaking by any sense, but logging in and spending a little bit of time each day just to complete these daily missions to get these gems are going to rack up for sure. With all of the missions and all of the pieces of content that recur every single month, if you are completing these every single month, it will add up and you are going to get a decent amount of rainbow gems literally just for logging in and doing your daily missions. Now look, you don't have to do that many. Like if we pull up the calculator once again, we have 28 days and we need 200 missions completed. So that's a total of 7 Chopperman missions completed every single day. It's like 8 Chopperman missions every single day in order for you to get all of this done. Now, it doesn't just account for daily missions. This also accounts for special missions. So whenever we get like a new Pirate King Adventures, if we get a new Blitz Battle, if we get Treasure Map, if there's any Chopperman missions related to those events, those also count to our monthly Chopperman mission rewards in those premium missions. So I think getting this done won't be too difficult as long as you're actively playing the game. This is just another free way to get rainbow gems. And while I do admit that the changes to the recent login campaigns have definitely been underwhelming, as they have removed the ability to get those free rainbow gems every single day, which those definitely add up just by logging in, getting 1 gem a day. That should be a standard. I don't understand why it isn't, but at least we have another way to get some free gems at the end of the day. So make sure to log in, do them, get some free gems. So the next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is, I'm pretty sure I can't find this in game, but it looks like some of the data miners have been able to figure out in regards to some new mechanics or some new features that are going to be appearing in Treasure Cruise soon. So we're going to go over to this tweet that I took. This is from Rizzy. He posted this one right here. So we have enemy damage reduction scaling boost, super tandem expansion, tap timing boost active effect, new features within the update. So let's break all of these down. First one, enemy damage reduction scaling boost. I literally have no idea what this means. Is this like a rainbow shield, and then as you scale up a boss, the enemy will get more and more damage reduction? That's the only thing that really comes to mind. A scaling boost damage reduction, or maybe it's a rainbow shield, and then depending on like how many buffs are on your side of the field, that damage reduction slowly creeps up. But then again, if it is just going to be treated as a damage reduction, if you have a character that removes Rainbow Shield, it should remove it. Or if you have a character that just bypasses Rainbow Shield, this should also just not even worry you at all. We'll have to wait and see. Again, we don't have any information in regards to this. However, Super Tandem Expansion is one thing I never thought I would see in One Piece Treasure Cruise anytime soon. Now, this gets me a little creeped out because Super Tandem is a very, very frustrating mechanic in a lot of ways because it does have so much potential. The problem with Super Tandem is we usually will have a lot of characters with Super Tandem and they overlap with each other, which means that you a lot of the time they're not going to be that great. Like there's usually one set Super Tandem you want to activate on your high damage team and you're focusing your whole team around that. The thing is there are so many tandems that come out in the game and so many of them are complete garbage. They're just unusable straight off the bat. What I will say is that more recently they have been better in regards to super tandems. Like they've made it so that, you know, in all of the levels of super tandem from levels 1 to level 5, the activation requirement not changing is a big thing. In my opinion, the activation requirement for a super tandem shouldn't change at all from level 1 to 5. I agree with that completely. Just making the effect better along the way, I do like that. I think that is good. However, sometimes when you jump from level to level, sometimes the jumps are really minor and some of the jumps are super drastic. That does kind of frustrate me. Like usually like levels 1 to 2 are really bad. Like 3 and 4 are a lot better, and then level 5 is obviously where you want to be. But the jump from level 4 to level 5 a lot of the time is really annoying because it's like a huge jump. But we'll see what this has in store. But the way that I kind of read this is it's kind of like how we have Limit Break Expansion, where you can use a key, you unlock the character, and then you get like more paths to unlock. I suspect this is going to be a new way for super tandems to go above level 5. So if you have like a key to unlock it, or maybe you don't even need a key. If a character has Super Tandem Expansion, you feed a dupe and it goes to level 6, you know, 6 out of 5 or whatever it is, or it goes up to level 10, who knows, right? This could be a way for them to add incentives to still pull older characters, which is kind of frustrating at the end of the day. But again, we don't have any idea as to what this is. All speculation here, all speculation. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about that one. The next two ones are interesting, Tap Timing Boost and Tap Timing Boost Effect. The thing is I kind of feel like we already have this kind of effect in the game. Let me just pull one up in game and I'll show you to you guys real quick. The one that comes to mind at the moment in regards to like what this could kind of be is like something like this with Kid. So if we have a look at the bottom here of this, where it says he boosts Driven and Striker characters' chain multiplier growth rate of normal attacks by up to 0.6. I feel like it's kind of similar to this. This is based on like, this isn't not exactly tap timing, but based on your tap timing, you get like better chain boosts or chain multiplier growth rates. The one that's listed here on this tweet, it just says Tap Timing Boost and Tap Timing Boost Activated Effect. Maybe it's something like if you hit a great, it ends up being a perfect instead. I don't know, but we've already got the effect in game that like makes perfects more difficult, or it makes perfects easier to hit. I feel like it would be in that kind of realm. Again, there's not a lot of info to go off of here, but once we do get info, I'll definitely, if there's enough video to really talk about it, enough content to really talk about it, I'll definitely make a separate video for you guys in regards to it. If not, you know, I'll make a post on the community tab or on Twitter or whatever, but either way, very, very interesting stuff here. So one thing that we can actually go ahead and check out right here on the homepage of Treasure Cruise is the Claim All function on Gather Island. So Gather Island, normally very frustrating because you have to go into Gather Island, you have to go through every single, specifically the one with the dugongs, you have to click it, and then you have to accept it, and you have to do that 3 separate times, and then you claim all to get all the other stuff. Now what they've done is there is a new feature, so we can tap here, and we can pull upwards on this little arrow. When we pull up, it's going to go ahead and grab all of those things at the same time for us, so we don't have to go in and do it every single little time. We don't have to go in and click every single little thing. It's just going to automatically do it. It makes it so much faster. So it just saves a little bit of time each day. But of course, if you do that every single day, it will add up a lot of time overall. So just a nice feature that they've added, and you can actually see what level your facilities are at. 258 of 385. I don't think I'm ever going to get these all completely maxed out, but it is what it is. The next thing we're going to talk about ships right here. The shipyard upgrade is actually pretty interesting. So what they've done is they've made it so that you can actually go over to the shipyard and you can view the ship's fully upgraded effects without having to actually upgrade it now. So hypothetically here, I have the Megalo. So the Megalo I have not leveled up at all, aside from getting it to level 10. So now there's this button, the max feature, and what it will show is if you get the ship maxed out at level 12, this is the effect of the ship. This should have been in the game from the get-go. Ever since they brought the ship function into the game, I have no idea why this wasn't a thing. The reason why it's so annoying is because if you don't know what the ship does, you had to use a third-party resource to actually look up what the ship did. So annoying. And of course you can check the mods by clicking the star icon on the right side of the screen. So if you get it to level 4, or you get all of them to rank 5, you get the additional effect. And you can see now what the effect does when you get it to level 12. So that is a huge update. I'm really happy that they've done that. Makes it a lot easier to just stay in the app to view what the ship actually does. Now, furthermore, they've also added some new ship specials to some of the ships in the game. So I really like what they've done here with the Navy ship. So the Navy ship now has a special which extends the duration of your end of turn healing by 2 turns, and shooter and fighters get 1000 base attack for 1 turn. So this is obviously in regards to Kobe and Garp. Makes perfect sense. I totally agree with this one. The Baratier gets a special which reduces the recovery slots into damage duration by 2 turns, heals 5000 health, changes the attack multiplier of recovery and similar slots to 2.5 times for 1 turn. That's pretty neat, especially with how the Baratier works, where like, I think the Baratier, if I remember correctly, it changes tandem slots into similar, I think, or into recovery, like something like, it basically makes it so you get lots of recovery and similar. This changes the multiplier of those slots, so I like it. It gives you more damage. The Moby Dick, now this is a ship that I actually have maxed out, so I'm excited to see this one. Activates HP guard of 70% effect for 1 turn and reduces switch effect gauge by 1. That is so cool that the ship can now give you HP guard. This could have really good implications for teams in the future. With the way that the Moby Dick works, it starts you off at 50% health. So that is a downside. So the HP guard might not be as potent, but it is a 70% one. It's still going to reduce quite a lot of HP that you would normally take from pain, burn, etc. So I think this could have a lot of potential uses in the future. The Flying Dutchman gets a great special, 90% defense reduction and a 2.25 defense down conditional boost. If you just need a conditional boost, this ship's great. You could use like a double stacking conditional boost unit with this. I mean, like, you know, specifically talking about like Exchange Ace or Super Tandem Big Mom, and then use that with this. That will actually work, which is pretty dope. Unfortunately, Super Sugo Robin is a defense down conditional booster, so you can't stack it with that, but it's still pretty cool. And the Aura Jackson gets a buffed special, which reduces bind and paralysis by 2 turns. That's already very, very good. And then boost the attack of the next final tap performed by a slasher or free spirit by 15%, so obviously works really well with final tap Yamato if you're running a slasher squad. It's just a really nice way to get bonus damage. So if you're running a high damage team, this might be a pretty good option for your slasher team. If you're running teams like with Zoro Sanji to transform everyone into a slasher, having this to give an additional 15% bonus damage to your final tap unit that is also slasher, I think could actually see potential in high damage content. It's actually pretty good. So the shipyard upgrade, honestly, really nice stuff across the board. So the last little thing I want to talk about before we wrap up the video that I saw was very interesting with the 14.2 update. If you go over to the menu, there's a new function here called voice reading. So you can enable voice reading. When enabled, it will read the Pirate Alliance chat and co-op quest stamps. The voice reading uses your device's features. The reading will continue even if the app is suspended. Certain languages and special characters will not be read. So this is very fascinating, just adding some accessibility features to One Piece Treasure Cruise. This is something that really, I don't think anyone really asked for this, but it's here anyway, so I suppose if anyone needs that kind of assistance, then that's pretty cool that they've got it in here. Again, I think they could have probably used resources in other manners to make things a little bit better for Treasure Cruise, but hey, if voice reading's in the game, so if you need it, you can use it if you want. Personally, I'm not going to, but it's nice that they've got accessibility options for different people out there. And that's pretty much it. That's, I mean, there are some other minor things, of course. I mean, you can read all of it in the important tab here in terms of all the new upgrades here, but we'll have to wait and see how the PKA stuff goes, and we'll see what they have in store for us for Super Rumble specials. And they also added some other stuff, like you can do auto feeding with Super Sugo or Sugo Fest exclusives now, which I think is kind of cool, but nothing really that crazy. But hopefully you enjoyed this video though. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.